does not mean we shouldn't give them a better solution. This is not a controversial decision, it's a practical one. And in reality, it's not even our decision to make. We believe in a market-based system, and when it comes to products, the consumer must make the final decision. We've made significant progress in phase one and have focused on laying the groundwork that will help us support real scale. As we move into phase two of our strategic plan, we are confident that our network of 1,000+ partners can help us execute our goal of reaching 60 million households by the year 2017. That goal is fully achievable, especially given the fact that we continue to increase our profile and the issues profile and gain momentum within the global health community.
The Global Alliance's 100 by 20 goal calls for 100 million households to adopt cleaner and more efficient cookstoves and fuels by 2020. $430 million is the amount pledged to further mobilize the clean cookstove sector and advance the widespread adoption of clean cooking solutions at the end of the 2014 summit. Countries like the United Kingdom, the United States, Norway, and many others pledged to support countries where this is a major challenge.
We are marshaling the collective expertise and networks of the entire United States government. The National Institutes of Health will commit more than $30 million to rigorous study and analysis to understand both the consequences and the benefits of making this transformation. The Environmental Protection Agency will study the effects and the efforts to improve regulations on accelerating this transformation. The Centers for Disease Control will help understand how we can best save lives as we pursue this goal. The State Department, the Peace Corps, and USAID will work together to turn these scientific insights into real impact on the ground with a specific focus on women and girls. And our very own Development Credit Authority at USAID will help mobilize more than $125 million in private investment to power the cookstove industry as it transforms in more than 52 countries around the world. We're working with such a diverse array of public and private sector partners because that's what it's going to take to really achieve success at scale.
Over the past 3 decades, there has been a drive towards cleaner and better sustainable ways of cooking food, particularly in developing countries where approximately 3 billion people rely on coal or biomass as the primary energy source for cooking and heating. According to the International Energy Agency, in sub-Saharan Africa, over 80%, or nearly 728 million people, depend on solid fuels such as charcoal and firewood for cooking, more than any other region in the world. The IEA estimates that by 2030, 1 billion people in sub-Saharan Africa will depend on biomass as their main energy source. Open fires and traditional cookstoves produce incomplete combustion of fossil fuel, causing high black carbon emissions. They also have low combustion efficiency, which leads to longer cooking time and increased fuel use. So why do so many people in sub-Saharan Africa still use open fires and traditional cookstoves for cooking and heating?
The issue of awareness relies on a supply or an availability of these cookstoves. In Ghana, improved cookstoves have been around for more than a decade, but they are not visible. A few people have them, a few people know about them, but the vast majority of the population don't see them and are not aware of them. Now, in terms of making them available, you could go for a sort of import policy and just bring them from wherever they are. But that has cost implications, that has livelihood issues. In Ghana, we are looking at making sure that a significant proportion of these improved cookstoves, which will displace locally manufactured cookstoves, are also produced locally, so that you have people gaining employment, so that you don't have rural communities disempowered in terms of their income generating capability. So it's the awareness and also the supply, making sure that there's a local enterprise, local private sector developed to actually manufacture these stoves, to distribute these stoves. And so you have, if you like, the win-win situation that we're talking about. We create employment, and we also better people's lives in the process.
It is easy to say it is simply a money issue, but according to a recent research, it is important to look at the factors or barriers preventing improved cookstoves from being adopted. It has been revealed that not all products targeting those at the bottom of the pyramid are the same. 3 factors that contribute to the rate of adoption are motivation, affordability, and levels of engagement necessary. Motivation, they say, is connected to the perceived value of a new product or service, and users are motivated by stoves that save money. For affordability, they add that although clean energy cookstoves are more efficient, outright they can be too expensive for the rural poor, someone living on less than $2 a day despite the multiple health and environmental benefits. And the final factor they add can be the magnitude of the change that is expected. Adoption of a new cook stove affects an entire lifestyle, which can include gathering wood, an activity with a strong social component, as well as cooking techniques, an activity heavily influenced by tradition. So what is the way out?
What they do is not free. It has effects. There's pollution, there's health, there's loss of life. So it's not free. They're losing hours in going to fetch wood. That's not free. That's all that has value. It has a cost. While we're going to something that is cleaner, it's much healthier. You can get a business where it's sustainable, and it's the way forward. It's advocacy and orientation. We play a long role. And anyway, the gas that we have is almost free. We're flaying it. So we can bring down the cost. And in the long term, statistics are shown that you can save up to 50% on some of these newer, cleaner methods of energy than what you're doing presently.
There's opportunities to take a look at how women can have businesses that they run that actually service. They're actually better at explaining why you should use it and how you use it and demonstrating that it works. They can get into businesses that service and businesses that replace. This is just an opportunity not just to make sure that women don't have to face the choice of either feeding their children or keeping them healthy. You can't do that. No woman should have to face the fact that she is hurting her child while she's trying to feed her family. How can that be? And so I think there are opportunities not just for women to really get engaged in terms of actively using these stoves, but there's an opportunity for economic growth to come out of this, and economic growth which also results in empowering women.
In 5 years, the National Clean Cooking Scheme aims to distribute at least 4 million clean cooking stoves in each of the 6 geopolitical zones and provide 20 million clean cook stoves throughout the country. However, the federal government has been asked to go a step further.
We are still bedeviled with a lot of other challenges, not just the finance that is needed. We need government to come into creating the enabling environment for this. We also need energy. Without energy or power, put it that way, it might still be very difficult to achieve. And we also have other raw materials that, like the tin, the oil, and the metal that you need to put together the cook stove itself. These are still being sourced from other countries. So in as much as the federal government is giving so much support into the mining sector and ensuring that the Ajaokuta tin and mild steel come upstream shortly, then that will actually give us a leap in ensuring that we achieve our 100% local production. What most of us still do today is we produce partly in China, then we assemble in Nigeria. We also use that to create jobs. But it's something that we would be able to achieve with the concerted effort and the growing global effort, investment, and also government support that is being put at the front burner today. We should be able to achieve that within the next 2 years.
The Nigeria Alliance, a partner of the Global Alliance for Clean Cookstoves, a public-private partnership for government agencies, corporations and donors, helped to develop a comprehensive national clean cookstove program plan of action with a target of 17.5 million households by 2020. That's our program for the week. Thank you for joining us. Please do keep your comments coming. Our inbox, Earthfile@channelstv.com is always